Coronation Street star Harriet Bibby has outlined Summer Spellman's greatest fear in the soap's ongoing issue-based storyline, which has seen Todd Grimshaw be abused by his husband, Theo Silverton. Over the past few months, the ITV soap has explored Todd's worsening situation, with recent scenes seeing Sarah Platt, Christina Boyd, George Shuttleworth and Gary Windass all attempt to get him out of his abusive relationship. At the same time, Summer has been attempting to learn more about the death of Billy Mayhew, which was caused by Theo. She suspects that Carl Webster is responsible, but today's episode saw him urge her to look closer to home for the culprit. Upcoming scenes will see the two strands converge as Summer begins to keep a close eye on Theo, and Bibby has explained that her character will be careful as she seeks to get information while also not placing Todd in an even worse position. Summer believes that Theo is capable of murder, said the actor, who began playing Summer in 2020. Recently she's been grieving for Billy, and has been quite blinded by that and unable to see anything else that's happening. I don't think she's seen it in him, Theo, until this point, but when her suspicions do start to come out, the penny drops. Suddenly, everything makes sense. Now she's seen it, she can't unsee it. With Summer now viewing Theo as a likely candidate for Billy's death, she naturally has some concern for Todd. If Theo has the capacity to commit murder, then it makes it all the more likely he is abusing Todd. She's panicking because she has got this whole weight on her, explained Bibby. She's worried for Todd because he might be in a vulnerable position, and he's all Summer has left. If anything happens to him, I don't know what she'd do. During next week's scenes, Todd will make the brave step to report Theo's abusive behavior to the police, but this isn't before the prospect of moving to Belfast with his husband becomes a distinct possibility. This spurs Summer into action, with Bibby sharing, when he says he might be moving away, it's really difficult. She knows Todd like the back of her hand, and in that moment she can see that it's not something that he actually wants to do. He doesn't want to leave Summer, especially in the position that she's currently in. It then just hits her like a ton of bricks. It almost confirms her suspicions for her, and she can see that this is a situation that Todd doesn't want to be in. If he does leave, then she can't even look out for him or protect him in any way. If he moves to Belfast, he's literally on his own, and that panics Summer, added the actor, who took over the role from Matilda Freeman. This all leads Summer to approach George and Sarah, who have already expressed concern for Todd. As each of their stories align, they come to the conclusion that something needs to be done. Some of them tune into it straight away, others are slightly more skeptical and need to put those jigsaw pieces together a bit more before they come to a conclusion, noted the star. But the more they share, the more difficult it becomes to ignore. In the ever-turbulent world of Coronation Street, peace is often short-lived, and for Summer Spellman, the storm is only just beginning. As Theo's storyline takes a darker and more unpredictable turn, Summer finds herself at the center of a growing nightmare, one that threatens not only her sense of safety but her grip on reality itself. For weeks, viewers have watched Theo's behavior shift from unsettling to outright alarming. What initially appeared to be simmering tension has now erupted into something far more sinister. His presence looms large over Weatherfield, casting a shadow that seems impossible to escape. But it's Summer who feels the weight of that shadow most intensely. Summer has always been portrayed as resilient, someone who has weathered emotional hardships before. Yet this time, things feel different. There's a vulnerability creeping in, a quiet but persistent fear that she can no longer ignore. Theo's increasingly erratic actions have begun to chip away at her confidence, leaving her second-guessing every interaction, every decision, and even her own instincts. What makes this storyline particularly gripping is how it taps into Summer's psychological state. Her fears aren't just about Theo's actions, they're about what he might do next. The uncertainty is suffocating. Every unexpected knock at the door, every unknown number calling her phone, every shadow in the distance becomes a potential threat. The tension builds not through explosive confrontations, but through the slow, creeping dread that something terrible is inevitable. Friends and family begin to notice the change in her. Once open and expressive, Summer grows withdrawn, her anxiety manifesting in subtle but telling ways. She hesitates before speaking, flinches at sudden movements, and struggles to explain what she's feeling. To outsiders, it may seem like she's overreacting, but viewers know better. They've seen Theo's darker side, and they understand that Summer's fears are not only real but justified. Meanwhile, Theo's storyline continues to escalate in ways that keep audiences on edge. His motivations remain unclear, making him all the more dangerous. Is he acting out of anger, obsession, or something even more complex? The ambiguity adds another layer of tension, ensuring that every scene he appears in carries an undercurrent of unpredictability. The brilliance of this plot lies in its pacing. Rather than rushing into dramatic revelations, the show allows the fear to simmer. Each episode adds a new piece to the puzzle, deepening the mystery while intensifying the emotional stakes. And at the heart of it all is Summer, a young woman trying to hold herself together as the world around her begins to feel increasingly unsafe. As the story unfolds, viewers are left asking one crucial question: how far will Theo go? And perhaps even more importantly, how far will Summer be pushed before she reaches her breaking point? There are hints that a major turning point is on the horizon. Subtle clues suggest that Summer may soon be forced to confront her fears head-on. Whether that confrontation will empower her or shatter her completely remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the consequences will be profound, not just for Summer, but for everyone caught in Theo's orbit. This storyline also highlights a broader theme that Coronation Street has always handled with care: the impact of fear and psychological distress. Summer's journey is not just about surviving a threatening situation, it's about navigating the emotional aftermath, the internal battles that don't always have clear resolutions. It's a reminder that the most intense conflicts are often the ones that take place within. Fans have already begun speculating about what lies ahead. Will someone step in to protect Summer? Will Theo's true intentions finally be revealed? Or will the situation spiral further out of control before any resolution is reached? The uncertainty is part of what makes this storyline so compelling, and so difficult to look away from. As the tension continues to build, one thing becomes increasingly clear: Summer's darkest fears are no longer just fears. They are becoming her reality. And in a place like Weatherfield, where secrets rarely stay hidden for long, that reality is bound to explode in ways no one can predict. With powerful performances, tightly woven suspense, and an emotional core that resonates deeply, this escalating storyline is shaping up to be one of the most unforgettable arcs in recent Coronation Street history. For Summer, the question isn't just whether she can escape Theo's shadow, it's whether she can emerge from it as the same person she once was. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.